You never know what's going to happen on Charlotte Today. Don't miss out. Watch it live or anytime on your DVR.
Chic is a decorative theme popping up in everything from weddings to dinner parties. It's a style that blends the upscale feel of the city with country-like easiness.
Here to show us how to create that feel ourselves is Andrew King. He's the general manager of Classic Party Rentals. Good morning, Andrew King.
Good morning, ladies.
Did I explain that the right way, what farm chic is?
You did, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's blending a very simple table, generally with a very formalized setting. We've kind of played it down a little bit today to do more of a do-it-yourself home version of that table.
What is this style appropriate for?
Oh gosh, it's appropriate for an anniversary, a birthday party, an engagement party, a rehearsal dinner. A lot of people are using it for weddings.
It's really beautiful. Okay, so you've got this gorgeous table on display for us. Where do we start? Is it with the centerpiece?
Oh, we have to
Let's start with the
that.
centerpiece. I mean, we're talking iceberg lettuce. The centerpiece is a $6 centerpiece. So literally just using some of the items that are going to be incorporated in your meal, or some items that you already have at home that just add some bright color to the table. So we just use vegetables, some fruit on the bottom. We have some antiques that I pulled from my house. This is a box that I throw my mail in when it comes in. This is an antique beef smoker, a piece of silver that I inherited. We tied in some bright colors with candy. It's a really inexpensive way to kind of make the color pop on a table, and matched that to the runner, and then matched the colors in the centerpiece to, we just extended the apples into some buckets. We have some rolled silverware that also matches the texture in the centerpiece, which is a good way to tie that in. And so just trying to keep it cohesive, a little bit of nature tied into a clear paint bucket in the centerpiece.
So this can be a very inexpensive way to entertain.
Very inexpensive. If you were doing this at home using your own china and dishes and just pulling things from your house, less than $100 to set this table.
Because instead of napkins, it looks like you're using something that we all have in our kitchen.
That's right. That's right. I used hand towels, especially if you're serving something like barbecue, which can be a little messy. You might want something larger than a napkin. So, you know, you want to tell your guests what you're going to be serving. So you create a little chalkboard for that. And then in your place settings, you can use a hand towel. We alternated the hand towels because you may not have enough, and they don't have to match. I used 4 of one kind, but they could all be different. We mixed in some nice starched white napkins to go with that, to alternate just using what you have. On this place setting with the hand towel, we used little Dimitas cups, just a little coffee cup with a plant in it to hold the name of the person who's going to be sitting there.
Adorable.
And found at a craft store little name tags that match our chalkboard. They're little pigs. We use 2 different kinds of china that you could just pull from your cabinet so they don't have to match again. And we mixed 2 kinds of glassware, a nice wine glass with a mason jar. We also used an alternating place settings, just a little bit of crepe myrtle from the yard in a shot glass.
Oh my gosh, so creative.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive.
The mason jars are sort of a popular staple in this farm chic theme, correct?
Very
Used for lots of things?
Absolutely. Sometimes with the handle and sometimes not. Sometimes literally just the mason jar from the department store that you put your tea or lemonade in.
And again, you said the plates, the china, it doesn't have to match. It doesn't have to be all matchy-matchy,
no,
right?
Every place setting could be different if you wanted.
Really cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, are there certain flowers that we should use if we're doing farm chic and ones we should stay away from?
There really aren't any you should stay away from. A lot of times people will use orchids. You'll see one type of plant, one color of that plant or that flower used all along the length of the table. But living plants lend themselves especially well if you're doing something kind of the farm-to-table theme. That way, when you're done with your dinner party, you plant that in the yard and you haven't wasted anything.
So what should we avoid? Where does farm chic go wrong?
I think it goes wrong if you can take it too far. I mean, you can literally have, you don't want farm equipment on the table, you don't want saws on the table, you can't take it too far. So, you do want to remember it's a dinner party and it does need to be utilitarian at the end of the meal.
A saw on the table could be useful.
Well, it depends.
Depending on whom you're dining with, it could be useful.
And if it is a meeting of the minds or a parting of the ways. So, yeah, it depends on what your intent is for the meal. So I think those are really the only things to stay away from, is remembering that above everything else, it has to be utilitarian. You have to be able to serve dinner on it.
Okay, and you said your centerpiece can incorporate things that you're serving in the meal. When it comes to what you're serving, if your farm chic theme plays over into your menu, what kinds of things should you be serving? Should it just be the barbecue and the fried chicken, or can we get a little creative?
Oh, you could be creative. I mean, you could have baskets with sweet potatoes and pears and green grapes in them. Fig leaves are beautiful to incorporate in arrangements, especially if you mix them with a little water. They have a natural wax on them that makes them silvery. So you can really, anything at all you can find at the farmer's market, you can use in your centerpiece. I mean, a beautiful glass plate or a cake plate with a big hunk of hoop cheese could be a centerpiece with some vegetables around the base of it.
Oh, that's cute. I love that idea.
You're sitting on apples.
Also, if you don't have this stuff at home or you don't want to go out and buy it necessarily, you can rent a lot of these things too, correct?
You can rent it. You can rent it from a company like mine. Yeah, absolutely.
Classic Party Rentals. Classic Party Rentals. It's the nation's largest full-service event rental company. For more information, visit classicpartyrentals.com. classicpartyrentals.com. Andrew, very nicely done. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Great job. All right, up next this morning on Charlotte Today, the perfect picnic foods.